What's up, guys? Welcome back to Ask My Mom. In today's episode of Ask My Mom, this is going to be a part 2 of the first episode, How to Live an Authentic Life. So this is just going to be a continuation of the first video. If you haven't seen the first episode, go watch that first before you watch this episode. And yeah.
So today we're going to be touching on a couple of things about the media. TV, magazines, billboards, what else? Social media. What do you think about
magazines?
Social media, we know that's huge, right? So Naeem and I were discussing it, and we were saying, like, what's going on here? There's a plan. There's a plot. They're after our self-image. Because think about it. They're showing us what they want us to see as being defined as beautiful, right? So they're trying to define what that beauty should be for us, right? So they're really distracting us. They're spending a lot of money and a lot of time to distract us. And that's really what TV is all about.
Yeah.
I told Naima, TV means to tell lies of visions.
Okay, what does that mean? Tell lies of visions.
They really want to tell lies of the vision that they believe that you should have for yourself.
Yeah.
So that they can influence what that vision for your life should be. So think about it. When they do that, they're taking away the human being's substance. Naima mentioned that earlier, and I was like, oh man, you're onto something. That's so true. Because when you're authentic, you're a person of substance. So they're after that substance. They don't want you to have that substance. They want you to be somewhat fake, or just not real anymore, or they want it to be something that they want you to be turned into. So that's important to note. This is why we wanted to do this show, right?
Okay.
So,
yeah. The internet, so she touched on social media. Social media is like a big influence. She was saying earlier, younger folks, even the older folks are influenced by the media nowadays. And oh man, it's they're trying to define what beauty is. Right, Ma?
yes. And it's pretty unfortunate because there are different kinds of beauty, right? Everyone's not made to look the same. And what's beautiful to one person may not be beautiful to the other person because everyone has their own personal preferences. But what makes us beautiful is our uniqueness, right? Variety in the world is what makes things beautiful. When they're different, when they're authentic, when they're real, when there's something that's not the norm, right? That's what makes us attractive, is that everyone doesn't look the same. Everyone doesn't act the same, or they're not supposed to act the same.
Right.
So now they're trying to give us this world view of how we should act, how we should think, how we should be, how we should look, right? Even how we should feel, right, Naima? Think about it.
Yeah, I mean, you touched on something that was important. They spend a lot of money on advertising. And, you know, you were stating how celebrities wouldn't be making all of this money if they didn't have TV shows, you know, reality TV shows, social media. Like, you can make money off of social media nowadays. So they wouldn't be making all this money if none of this stuff existed. So that comes back to, why would this be a problem? And why would they want to do this? Why would they want to try to, you know, manipulate us and take away our identity?
Wow. Those are heavy questions, but it highlights the topic that we're talking about, right? How to live authentically. So in part 1, we discussed how being authentic is about uncovering, recovering, and discovering who you are. So in light of that, you might have some questions for me on that. What does that mean? Right?
Yeah.
So when we're talking about uncovering something, we're talking about uncovering the lies, right?
Yep.
Because they're trying to show us what our self-image should look like, right? So they're selling us something, right? And most of us are buying into what they're selling us. Whether it be for us to buy something like a outer garment or makeup or
some of the advertisements I see, they'll have a picture of a person with no makeup and they're advertising like wrinkle-free cream and that sort of thing. They'll advertise a person with no makeup, and then in the second picture they'll advertise them with a full face of makeup, and then they're advertising that this lotion or this product, this face product works. And you're saying, like, of course people gonna, be scammed. Like, they're trying to scam people because the second picture looks like, they have no imperfections because they have makeup on.
No imperfections.
Right,
exactly.
No imperfections.
Yeah.
So it's just crazy.
Yeah. It's so it's interesting because, like I said, the uncovering part is the lies, the deception, right? Mm-hmm. The fabrication, right? Of showing us things that are not real, images that are not real. Like we touched on in part 1, we talked about how, all this plastic surgery. What's going on here, right? It used to be a world where you didn't hear about plastic surgery. We knew they were doing it, but how would you say, the common man and woman, we didn't know that they were under the knife. We just thought these people just look like this.
Right.
But it's because of the rise of the internet and social media and all these other forms of media, like billboards and magazines and TV, that have, how would you say, helped us to be exposed to the fact that these people are going under the knife. We would have never known this had we not had the internet. Yeah. With people coming up with proof that, wait a minute, they used to look like this, now they look like that. And we're not saying anything against plastic surgery if that's what you decide that you want to do.
Right.
We're not talking about it in that respect. Yeah. But we're talking about the deception. And we're talking about how to live authentically. So if we're talking about how to live authentically, how can you live authentically when you're being fed on a constant daily basis? Lies.
Right.
That's what we're saying here. Mm-hmm. So that's why I said earlier that television, all it means is to tell lies of visions. The visions that they want you to have for yourself is the vision that they want to, how would you say, make you have, or the visions that they want to give to you based on their hidden agendas for you and for your life. So it's important for us to recover our spirit and our soul, and get in touch with our spirit and our soul so that we won't fall for the traps that are laid for us. Mm-hmm. Because these are traps. These are traps. The other part of that is to discover who you are.
All right. So with all of this in mind, how would you say that we would get back to being our authentic selves?
I would say the first step to being authentic and getting back to being authentic is to have moments and pockets of time where you spend time alone with yourself in the solitude of your mind.
Yeah, log out of all of the social media. I know I'm guilty of saying this and I don't do it. But that's because I'm addicted, and who isn't addicted nowadays? But if you can log out, I know, like, if you have an iPhone, I have an iPhone. But if you have an iPhone, any of the phones nowadays, probably even the Androids, they have this timer on your phone to where they set how many hours you can place to be on social media. So after that timer is off, or, you know, runs out, then, you know, it won't let you be on social media past a certain amount of time.
Right.
I think that's important.
That's a good idea,
Yeah,
Naima.
I recently found out about that hack.
Yeah.
I haven't tried it because I'm still addicted, but
you know what?
Works.
She's making a good point here. That's a really, really good tool, or a good tip to use, because think about it. When we're trying to be productive, we have to monitor how long we do things, right?
Right.
We have to be disciplined. This helps you to be disciplined. Doesn't mean that you have to totally eradicate watching social media like she said, but have a balance. Have a balance.
Just like the plastic surgery, moderation. Everything is in moderation. Like I said, too much of anything is not good. But I feel like personally, I get more stuff done when I'm not scrolling through social media. Social media isn't going to go anywhere. Those Instagram posts are not going to go anywhere. They'll always be there, you know, obviously, because they post them. Unless the person deletes them. But that sort of thing is always going to be there. You can always search anything on Google and it will be there. So I feel like we put so much pressure on ourselves to just constantly check our phones and our social medias. And like I said, I'm guilty of this on a daily, but to help you guys out, that's what I just suggest. And I should just be doing it for myself.
And it also, like I said a moment ago, it's about being authentic. How can we be authentic if we're spending most of our time distracted? So, like I said earlier, it's about getting back to that solitude of mind. When we get back to the solitude of mind, then we can discover who we are. So, it's only in the solitude of your mind, when you're left alone with yourself, by yourself, are you able to come back to your authentic self. Because what happens is your spirit begins to talk to you. You know, some women, they call it intuition, women's intuition. That voice that comes from inside of you is God. So in order for that voice to speak to you clearly, because you know it always speaks to us, but sometimes it's fuzzy.
You need to be still.
Yeah, sometimes it's fuzzy.
Yeah.
So you need to take a break from social media sometimes. Take a break from magazines. Take a break from anything that will distract you, so that you could spend time alone with yourself, so that those questions can begin to form and process in your mind, where you can begin to ask yourself certain key questions, so that you can begin to ask yourself, who am I? What do I want? What did I come in the world to do? You can be able to form these questions because you're not distracted. What do I really want from my life? What did I come to do? Who am I? So that's extremely, extremely important.
Mental health is important too. I feel like, you know, people just need a break. And that's why they have all these diseases and these mental health issues going on, because their mind is so clouded and they're not getting to the root of, you know, things that are happening in their lives. Like they're constantly going and going, and that's important. When you're still, it's easier to fix things, because then you start to recognize, okay, why am I acting like this? Why are things happening? What is my next step? Like
that's
she
right.
was saying.
That's right. And you're hitting on it, because that's so true. It's like, you know, there's a scripture for those of you who like the Bible. It says, "Be still and know that I am God." How can you know God if you're not still?
Yeah.
How can you know yourself if you're not still? How can you know yourself if you're allowing yourself to be distracted? If you're allowing yourself to be manipulated? Because that's what this is about as well. This is about manipulation. This is about being easily influenced. This is about a slave, making a slave of you. Because this is a corrupt system that is trying to enslave you. Why? They're trying to enslave you so that they can control you.
Yeah, and to push you away from the truth or reality, especially in the news.
That's right. That's right.
The news is full of negativity. And they put nothing but negativity in the news. That's all they want people to see, to distract them from the things, the positive things that are going around in society.
So
like
true.
Activism, you know, black causes, all that type of stuff. They don't want us to focus on that.
That's right.
They want death. They want people to focus on death. Like, it's just crazy. It's sick.
Superficial things.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing wrong with being beautiful, ladies. Or there's nothing wrong with being handsome, men. There's nothing wrong with that.
That's not what everything, though.
That's it. Oh my God, Naima, you just said it. It's not everything. It's so true. But they want you to believe that it's everything. And that it is only when you have these big giant boobs and this big butt and all this hair that's the only time that you're something and somebody. That's the problem.
But that's why people come up with these disorders like bulimia and stuff, because they think that, you know, they have to look a certain way.
That's right.
Because the media portrays that beauty is everything. No one talks about what's on the inside.
That's right.
Everything is physical.
That's why my thing, honestly, my personal motto has always been, be the best that you could be.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is not in comparison to anyone else. That's what the problem is. We're comparing ourselves to other people. We're not made to look like other people. Naima's Naima, Sherry. I'm not supposed to look like her. She's not, even though she's my daughter. That's a different case. But you get what I'm saying, guys.
If God wanted us all to look alike, we would look alike. Like that's why we all trying to look like everybody else.
That's right. That's what makes the world beautiful. Is variety.
And that's why we have diversity, because, you know, we come from different cultures. No one is the same. We all look different.
That's right.
We have different skin tones. If God wanted us to look the same, we will all have the same skin tone or the same hair.
When you don't know yourself because of the distractions and because you're being led somewhere where you may not consciously be wanting to go, but you go there because you're influenced with media, television, and all these other outlets, social media outlets. Trust me, it has an effect on you. You may not consciously be aware of how it's leading you somewhere or influencing you, but it is. This is why you have to be aware. And the only way that you can be aware is if you continuously debrief yourself from these programs, because they're programs. They're trying to program you to be what they want you to be and to serve their wicked agendas. They have wicked agendas. And it's all about money with them. It's all about greed with them. It's all about control with them. I'll give you some hints or some clues or some tips about living authentically and how to get in touch with that side of yourself. About solitude, right? About spending time with yourself. Also about debriefing, taking a break from these social media outlets and and things that try to distract us and take all of our time, all of our attention.
Yeah, like even with that, taking time away from social media, just do little by little. Like it doesn't have to be for like 6 hours.
Yeah.
You can try an hour, even 45 minutes, and see how you feel, and go and step away from your phone. Put your phone somewhere in the house or like away from you, and go and work on like other goals or other things or other chores that you need to do, and come back and see how you feel, and trust me, you're gonna get a lot done.
Yeah. And the thing, guys, really, honestly, this is entertainment, right? So there's nothing wrong with social media in that light, right? But when you use it as something that you can't live without, then there's a problem. Because we're talking about balance here. Life is about balance. And when you have that awareness of who you are, because you've been spending time with yourself, you've been asking those key questions that I described earlier, you're starting to get some type of semblance or understanding of who you are, right? And the information is coming to you. That voice begins to speak to you, right? The voice of God, that intuition comes up and it speaks to you. And it starts to tell you things about yourself that you may not have known, right? Think about it. I know a quote. I love this quote. This quote is by, what is his name? Westminster Fuller. Westminster Fuller. And it says, the greatest tragedy is for man to go to his grave with his music still stuck in his head.
Well, we know what that means.
What does that mean to you?
Like, in a way, he hasn't fulfilled what he needs to before
She's
he
so
left.
smart. That's why she's my daughter. She's so smart.
I mean, that's never a good thing, though. Like, you don't fulfill your purpose, or you don't fulfill what you need to, and then you regret it later.
So that's why I wanted to add that to this piece, because that's so important, guys. We are all born with gifts, talents, and abilities, all of us. Even if you don't know what those things are waiting to be uncovered in you. They're waiting to be discovered. They're waiting even to be recovered by you. But if you spend all of your time being distracted, allowing yourself, because it's a choice, allowing yourself to be distracted, how will you learn how to live an authentic life, which puts you in touch with yourself and gives you a balance in life? And how will you recognize the call of God that's on your life?
So, for people who, don't know where to start in terms of finding themselves, who could they go to, perhaps, to help them?
Good question. That's what I'm here for. I'm a life coach. As, I don't know, some of you may have known from the last show, I mentioned it.
Well, the first, like the intro.
Yes, the intro. Yeah. That's right. So, it's okay though, because all of us are at points in our life where we need a little bit more clarity, right? We need some understanding about how to do things, right? And it's okay. Sometimes it's not enough to have the information. We need understanding, right? Because understanding helps us to live the life that we were born to live, that we want to live, right? And it's okay, because all of us are there at some point in our lives. We need a guide, or we need answers to our questions. That's where I come in. As a life coach, I will help you to come in touch with those questions and help to guide you so that you could find the answers to your questions.
Okay, Ma, you want to tell them where they can reach you at, your email, How would they get in contact with you? That's important.
Okay, below on the description box, you'll see the information sherryhollis@gmail.com. That's where you could reach me underneath. Also, for more information, or sometimes you just want something to read, something uplifting, go to my website, courtingtheblisslife.com. It will be down below as well.
Yes, I'll put everything in the description box. Guys, make sure to always check the description box. There's a lot of useful resources and information down there that is going to be beneficial to you guys.
Oh, yeah. So if you want more information about the free life coaching, check out the information below. Not only that, what do they need to do, Naima, to stay tuned in to us?
This is also important. Y'all need to make sure you're subscribed. I see a lot of people watching our videos, but they're not subscribed. Subscribing lets you know when we post a video. Every time we post a video and you're subscribed, you get a notification straight sent to your email address, okay? So that you're never missing a video. Please make sure you're subscribed. I can't enforce this enough, okay? It takes not even 2 seconds, 1 second to subscribe. Okay, so I need you guys to make sure you're subscribed to our channel.
Not only that, we're working hard to bring you the topics that no one's talking about.
Yeah.
We want to bring it to you here live on Ask My Mom. If you like this video, or maybe something touched you, or maybe you feel like you want to share, please like, comment, and share the information. Please don't keep it to yourself.
I know a lot of our family members watched our last video, and when we spoke with them, they told us, you know, their feedback and stuff. But it would be nice to have them also comment down below.
Please,
so first, subscribe.
Guys.
Second, check the link in the description, please. And then third, make sure you guys comment, because this lets us all know by doing all of this stuff that you like what we're putting out for you guys.
Because otherwise we need to just close up shop. Because
no, we don't do that.
We're not doing that, but you know what I mean.
This just gives us some feedback. Yeah,
it helps us, and not only that, it encourages us to keep going. And it lets us know that maybe we're on to something here.
Yeah,
we need to know that from you. But if you're not sharing with us what you think about the show, how can we improve it? How can we make it better?
So we hope that you guys enjoy this segment, part 2 of episode 1.
Yes.
And just stay tuned for more content coming in the near future.
Yes. And think about, guys, if you have a topic that you want us to discuss, put it in the comments.
Also.
And we'll do it on one of our upcoming shows.
So that this is more interactive, and we're not just putting out our topics. And you guys. Okay, so we'll see you guys in our next video.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.